You might feel like you're doing everything right. You eat on time, go for walks, take your medications, and try to live as healthy as possible. On the outside, things seem okay. But what if I told you that something inside your body could already be working against you? Something silent, something invisible, something that slowly shortens your life without warning, without pain, and without showing up in your regular checkups. If that sounds scary, you're not alone. Many people after 60 start feeling changes they can't quite explain. The energy fades, the sleep feels less refreshing, memory becomes less reliable, simple movements feel heavier. And the most frustrating part, you've done what you were told. You followed the advice, you tried. But deep down, you still wonder, why do I feel older than I should? Here's the truth. What you're experiencing might not be normal aging. And more importantly, it's not too late. There's something happening beneath the surface that most people never talk about. But if you understand it now, you can slow it down. You can protect your mind, your heart, your independence, and maybe even extend your life by 10 or more good years. In this video, we're going to uncover a hidden danger. It's not a single disease. It's not something your doctor warned you about, but it affects millions of seniors every day. And if left unchecked, it becomes the reason so many people don't make it to 80. If you care about staying sharp, staying active, and living on your own terms, you need to hear this. Because once you understand what's really happening inside your body, you'll see how a few small changes could save your future. So what is it? What's silently cutting lives short after 60? You're about to find out, and once you do, you'll never look at aging the same way again. It usually starts with something small. You wake up feeling just a little more tired than usual. Maybe you shrug it off, thinking it was a restless night. But the next day, the heaviness in your legs lingers. You take longer to get going. Morning routines feel slower. It takes more effort to do the same things you did last year. Then, it creeps into your memory. You find yourself searching for a name that used to come so easily. You walk into a room and forget why you went in. You repeat questions or lose track of conversations halfway through. It's not constant, but it's enough to make you pause. At first, you might joke about it, blame it on senior moments. But in quiet moments, you worry. What if this is the beginning of something worse? And then there's the sleep. You go to bed early, hoping to recharge. But even after 8 hours, you wake up groggy. Your body feels like it never fully rested. The mornings feel foggy. The afternoons drag. And somewhere in the back of your mind, you start to think, something isn't right. Your doctor says your blood work looks normal. Your heart sounds fine. Maybe they even say, this is just part of getting older. But you know your body. You feel it. You feel weaker, slower, duller. You feel like something is quietly wearing you down. And you're not wrong. What's happening isn't just aging. It's a slow process, a hidden force, one that many seniors face but few recognize in times. And unless you know what to look for, it keeps chipping away at your health, year after year, until one day, it's too late. You are absolutely right to wonder what's going on inside your body. That quiet discomfort, the unexplained tiredness, the brain fog, the sense that something just doesn't feel right, even though your tests come back normal. That feeling is not in your head. It's real, and it has a name. It's called chronic inflammation. And for millions of older adults, it is the hidden force quietly speeding up aging, weakening the immune system, and laying the foundation for the very conditions that shorten life after 60. Now, inflammation itself isn't always a bad thing. In fact, it's a natural part of your body's healing system. When you catch a virus, scrape your knee, or fight off an infection, Your immune system sends out an emergency signal. That's when inflammation steps in, bringing heat, swelling, and immune cells to protect and repair the damage. This kind of inflammation is fast and focused. It comes when needed and then it goes away. That's called acute inflammation, and it's a sign that your body is working the way it should. But chronic inflammation is a different story. This is when that healing process never fully shuts off. Instead of going away, the immune system stays stuck in a low-level alert firing chemical messengers day after day, even when there's no real threat. Over time, those chemical signals begin damaging healthy tissue, quietly, slowly, and without warning. Doctors and researchers often refer to it as the invisible fire because you don't see it, and you rarely feel it directly, but it's always there, burning in the background, inside your blood vessels, your joints, your brain, and your vital organs. And what it damages gradually, until one day, things simply stop working the way they used to. Let's talk about what that damage really looks like. It begins in the arteries. Chronic inflammation erodes the lining of your blood vessels, making them stiff and narrow. As blood flow becomes restricted, your heart has to work harder. Your risk of high blood pressure increases. And over time, this silent pressure sets the stage for heart attacks, strokes, and other cardiovascular problems, even in people who don't have obvious symptoms. Then it moves to the brain. Inflammation interrupts the way your brain processes and stores information. You may begin to forget names, lose focus, or feel mentally slower than you used to. And when this goes on for years, it increases the risk of cognitive decline and even degenerative conditions like Alzheimer's. It also wears down your muscles and bones. Inflammation interferes with the body's ability to repair tissue. That's why you feel weaker, why your legs feel heavier, why everyday tasks become more tiring. Eventually, your balance is affected, and when that happens, even a small fall can lead to a fracture, a hospital stay, or a complete loss of independence. Even your immune system, the very part of your body meant to protect you, gets confused. When it's inflamed for too long, it starts attacking healthy tissues, and it becomes less effective at fighting off real infections. That's why you might get sick more often, or take longer to recover from things that used to be minor. But here's the most heartbreaking part. Chronic inflammation doesn't just affect your health, it affects your quality of life. You may still be alive, but not truly living. The walks become shorter, the conversations become harder to follow, the days feel heavier, and slowly you stop doing the things that once brought you joy. Now the big question is, where does this fire come from? What causes your body to stay in this constant state of alert? The answer is not one thing, but many small things, piling up over time. It starts with sleep. Deep, restful sleep is one of the most powerful ways the body reduces inflammation. But when you sleep lightly, wake up often, or go to bed too late, your body misses its chance to heal, and inflammation begins to build. Then there's food, a diet high in sugar, processed oils, refined flour, and packaged snacks sends a constant stress signal to your immune system. These foods spike your blood sugar, disrupt your gut bacteria, and lead to fat deposits around the organs, all of which make inflammation worse. Stress plays a major role as well. When you're under emotional pressure, whether from loneliness, financial worries, caregiving, or even watching the news, your body releases cortisol, the stress hormone. When this happens occasionally, it's helpful. But when it happens every day, cortisol begins to damage cells and fuel inflammation throughout your body. And finally, inactivity and isolation finish the cycle. When you don't move enough, your circulation slows down. Your lymphatic system, the part that clears out waste, gets sluggish. And when you don't connect with others, your emotional health suffers. Your body begins to interpret that disconnection as a threat, and it responds the only way it knows how, by staying inflamed. No single event causes chronic inflammation, but the pattern of modern life, too little sleep, too much sugar, too much sitting, too little joy, quietly feeds it. And this fire, if left to burn, is what quietly takes years off your life. Eat to calm the fire. You finish lunch and head to the kitchen. Maybe you reach for a cookie or pour a glass of soda. It's just a small treat, something sweet to brighten your day. You've done it for years. It feels harmless. But what if that tiny habit is feeding the very fire that's slowly wearing your body down? What you eat has a direct impact on inflammation. Certain foods, especially highly processed ones, act like fuel for the fire. They confuse your immune system, raise your blood sugar, irritate your gut, and signal your body that something's wrong, even when it isn't. Your body responds as it always does, with defense. But this time, the threat isn't real, and the damage is internal. Think of your body like a fireplace. When you eat clean, natural foods, vegetables, berries, whole grains, healthy fats, it's like adding smooth, steady logs that keep the fire warm and balanced. But when you eat sugary cereals, fried snacks, or artificial ingredients, it's like throwing in greasy paper soaked in gasoline. The flames jump, the smoke thickens, and if that keeps going, the whole system overheats. But here's the good news. You don't have to follow a strict diet or give up everything you enjoy. You can begin with small shifts that lower inflammation without adding stress to your life. For example, try swapping your afternoon cookie for a handful of walnuts or blueberries. Choose olive oil instead of vegetable oil. Replace white bread with whole grain or sourdough. Eat more colorful foods, greens, oranges, purples, because those natural colors carry powerful antioxidants that help cool the immune system. It's not about being perfect. It's about calming the chaos inside, one meal at a time. Over weeks and months, these little changes start to repair what's been inflamed for years. You may notice clearer thinking, lighter mornings, fewer aches, less fatigue after meals. That's not magic, it's your body finally getting the break it's been asking for. But food is only one part of the story. Even with the perfect diet, if your body isn't resting deeply, the fire will keep burning from another source. So let's talk about something even more powerful than nutrition, and that's the way you sleep. Sleep like your life depends on it. You go to bed at a decent hour. You lie down, close your eyes, and hope for rest. But the night doesn't come easy. You toss, you turn, you wake up feeling just as tired as when you lay down. Sound familiar? Sleep is not just rest, it's repair. It's the one time each day when your body steps away from defense mode and into healing mode. But when sleep is shallow, broken, or too short, the body doesn't get the chance to recover. Inflammation stays high, the immune system stays confused, and the damage continues. Deep sleep is like a full body reset button. It helps regulate blood sugar, it calms stress hormones, it clears out waste from the brain. In fact, research shows that people who sleep less than 6 hours a night have significantly higher levels of inflammatory markers like CRP and interleukin-6, even if they eat well and exercise. Think of your body like a repair shop. During the day, it's busy handling customers, traffic, and noise. But at night, the shop closes to do maintenance. If that night shift is rushed or interrupted, nothing gets fully fixed. And over time, those half-repaired parts start breaking down. But how do you sleep better, especially when age, stress, or pain gets in the way? Start simple. Try going to bed at the same time every night, even on weekends. Turn off bright lights and screens an hour before sleep, And let your room stay cool and dark. A warm shower before bed, gentle stretches, or quiet music can help signal to your body that it's time to wind down. Avoid caffeine after 2 p.m. And if your mind races at night, try writing down your thoughts before you lie down so your brain doesn't carry them into your dreams. And remember, napping during the day is okay, as long as it doesn't steal sleep from the night. A 20-minute nap can refresh you, but late naps may leave you groggy and restless later. Improving your sleep isn't about chasing perfection. It's about building habits that invite your body to rest deeply again. And when you do, inflammation starts to drop, memory becomes clearer, energy rises, and your body begins to heal, not just survive. But even with better food and deeper sleep, there's something else your body needs every single day, something we often forget as we get older. And that's movement. Gentle, consistent movement that tells your body, I'm still alive, I'm still capable, I still want to stay here. Let's talk about that next. Move your blood, move your life. You wake up, stretch a little, walk to the kitchen, and then spend most of the day sitting reading, watching TV, maybe resting your legs. It feels normal. After all, you've earned the right to slow down, but your body was never designed to stay still for so long. And when it does, the consequences go far beyond stiff joints or sore knees. Movement is life, and more than that, it's circulation. Every time you move, you help your blood carry oxygen, nutrients, and immune cells to every corner of your body. But when you sit too long, your circulation slows, inflammation builds, waste accumulates in your tissues, and your muscles start to break down quietly, steadily, day after day. Your lymphatic system, which clears out toxins and excess fluid, doesn't have a pump like the heart. It relies on your muscles to push things along. No movement means no cleanup. The fire of chronic inflammation is left to burn without interruption. You don't need to run. You don't need a gym. You just need consistency. Start with small things. Walk for 10 to 15 minutes after meals. It helps lower blood sugar and inflammation. Stretch your arms. Rotate your ankles. Stand up every hour and move around the room. Do gentle movements in your chair if walking is difficult. Even slow. Mindful motions like Tai Chi or Qigong can activate circulation, calm the nervous system, and signal to your body that you're still using what you've been given. Think of movement like watering a garden. Without it, things dry up, wilt, and become fragile. But just a little movement every day brings life back color, energy, and strength. And the benefits don't take long to appear. Within a few weeks of gentle daily movement, many seniors will report better sleep, improved mood, stronger legs, steadier balance, and less stiffness in the morning. That's inflammation fading. That's your body remembering what it's capable of. But movement isn't just physical. There's another kind of stillness that fuels inflammation, and that's emotional tension, stress, anxiety, and inner pressure. You can eat well and walk every day, but if your nervous system stays tense, the fire still burns. That's why in the next part, we'll talk about something as old as breathing itself and how using it the right way can reset your entire body from the inside out. Reset with conscious breathing. You probably don't think much about how you breathe. It just happens. Inhale, exhale, all day, every day. But the way you breathe can either calm your body or keep it trapped in a cycle of inflammation. Most people today breathe too fast, too shallow, and too high in the chest, especially when they're anxious, distracted, or tired. And over time, this kind of breathing sends a message to your nervous system that you're under threat, even when you're not. Your body responds by raising your heart rate, tightening your blood vessels, and releasing stress hormones like cortisol. And just like that, The fire of inflammation grows stronger. But there's another way to breathe, a slower way, a deeper way, one that signals safety instead of stress. When you breathe deeply into your belly, slowly and rhythmically, you activate what scientists call the parasympathetic nervous system, the part of your body responsible for healing, digestion, and relaxation. This kind of breathing lowers cortisol levels, slows your heart rate, and tells your immune system to stand down. It literally turns down the inflammation response with nothing more than air and attention. Think of it like resetting the circuit breaker in your house. When too many things are running, the system overloads. But one deep, calm reset brings everything back into balance. You don't need fancy techniques. Just sit quietly, place one hand on your chest, one on your belly. Breathe in through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold for 2. Then breathe out through your mouth for 6. Feel your belly rise and fall. Repeat this for 5 minutes. Once in the morning, once before bed, and anytime stress creeps in during the day. You can also pair breathing with walking. Inhale for 3 steps. Exhale for 4. Let your breath become your rhythm. Or practice while waiting in line, riding in the car, or sitting by the window. The point isn't perfection, it's awareness. The more often you breathe this way, the faster your nervous system learns to let go. Over time, this simple practice does something extraordinary. It clears the noise inside your body. It helps you sleep deeper, think clearer, digest better, and feel more present, like the inflammation that's been holding you back finally loses its grip. But even with calm breath, strong movement, and clean food, there's one more layer we can't ignore. Because human beings don't just need air, we need each other. And in our final part, we'll talk about the healing power of connection and why no anti-inflammatory plan is complete without it. Heal through human connection. You spend most of your day in quiet. You water the plants, make a cup of tea, maybe read a little. The phone doesn't ring as often anymore. The house feels still. And some days, you don't speak more than a few words to anyone. You tell yourself it's fine. You're used to it. But your body, it notices. Loneliness doesn't always show up as sadness. Sometimes it comes as fatigue you can't explain, a heaviness in your chest, a tightness in your breath, and slowly you find yourself withdrawing not because you want to, but because your world feels smaller. Science has started to catch up with what many older people have always known in their hearts, that disconnection affects more than just emotions. It affects your immune system, your hormones, even your level of inflammation. When you feel isolated, your body senses it as danger. And just like when you're in physical pain, it responds by raising your stress hormones, especially cortisol. That shift might have helped your ancestors survive in the wild. But today, it fuels chronic inflammation, weakens immunity, and increases your risk of heart disease, stroke, dementia, and early death. In fact, long-term loneliness has been shown to raise mortality risk on par with smoking 15 cigarettes a day. But this isn't about forcing yourself to be social. It's about nourishing your nervous system with warmth, familiarity, and presence. And that begins with something simple, a real connection. It might be calling an old friend once a week, having lunch with your neighbor every Sunday, joining a group at the library or local church, not to network, but just to be near people who smile when they see you. Even one meaningful relationship can help your body calm down. Even one moment of shared laughter can lower your cortisol and blood pressure. Even one walk with someone who listens can reduce inflammation more than any supplement ever will. If that sounds far away, start small. Look up. Make eye contact. Say hello to someone at the store. Ask how they've been and really listen. The body responds to connection. even in the smallest doses. Because healing doesn't just come from what you eat, how you sleep, or how you breathe. It also comes from knowing that someone still sees you, that you matter, that your story is still unfolding. And now that the fire is understood and the tools are in your hands, there's one last thing left to say. Now that you've reached this point in the journey, you've come to understand something that many people live their whole lives without ever realizing. That aging is not just about the passing of time, it's also about what happens inside the body when no one is paying attention. The slow burn, the quiet breakdown, the silent signals we're taught to ignore. But now you know, you've seen the fire, you've learned what fuels it, and more importantly, you've discovered how to begin calming it. Not through drastic changes or unrealistic promises, but through simple, steady acts of care. Choosing real food over processed snacks, letting your body rest deeply at night, moving your limbs every day, not to burn calories, but to remind your heart that you're still alive, breathing like you mean it, reaching out when silence becomes too heavy. These aren't just habits, they're messages. Each one says to your body, to your brain, and to your soul, I am still here. I still choose life. And if something in this video touched you, if a moment, a sentence, or a truth made you pause, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. Leave a comment below and let us know. What will you start with? What change feels possible for you right now? Because the fire may have burned quietly for years, but now you have the knowledge to turn it down. You have the power to give your body peace. You have more time ahead than you think, and it's not too late to make those years full of strength, clarity, and joy. You are not finished, and your story is far from over.